And we're live.
Jolly good.
Oh, we're live, Brian, apparently.
I'm alive. Oh,
We're
good.
live. 6 o'clock. And there we see. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to you, wherever you may be in the world. It's 6 o'clock here in the UK. I'm here with Mr. Brian Griffin, who's part of the furniture now of the channel.
I am, actually. I'm dressed like a bit of it over there.
Before we jump into this, could I can see there's 11 of you on at the moment. If you could, one of you just tell us if you can hear us. Is the sound okay? Can you see us? Say hello. Oh, Cheslaw's on. Ches.
Cheslaw. Well done, Ches.
Well done, Ches.
All the way to Scottish.
All the way to he's Scottish Cheslaw now, isn't he?
Scottish Cheslaw.
Cheslaw, can you hear us? Can you tell us if the sound good? Can you hear us clearly? And there's a bit of a delay, so we'll just wait for it.
It's coming down from Scotland.
All the way from Scotland. Hi, chaps. Mr. Maury. Hello. Hi, ciao, ciao. Someone ciao from Italy. Ciao, amico mio. Squadra vincente. We can hear you. Ah, Cheryl Morris from Scotland. They're all coming in here. Mr. Soldat. Hello, hello. There we go. Regards from the Ship and Whale. There's Lucas from the Ship and Whale. Shout out to the Ship and Whale.
I'm waving to the Ship and Whale.
Yeah, we've got to look at the camera there. It's there.
The greatest pub on earth.
Absolutely. Okay, hi guys. Hope you're well. We're just going to chat amongst ourselves here before we sort of as we do before we sort of make the official announcement. Coming through loud and clear. Let's say hello to the people. There's Denise Owens. Hello. Noel Brown, hello. And if I skip your name, don't take it personally. Allegra Jane, hello. You can hear us loud and clear. Thank you. Hello from Switzerland. Patrick from Sweden. Hello, David. All good. Hello from Poland. Agata. Someone from Poland. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, from Poland.
I didn't know Poland had Depeche Mode fans.
They've got plenty of them.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to be there this year, and you're going to be there this year.
We're going to be everywhere.
We're going to be in Poland in November, probably, in Łódź.
And yeah, absolutely.
Possibly in Łódź.
Possibly in Tallinn as well.
Yeah, and at the Sound Edit Festival, possibly.
Garth from Texas, hello there. Melvin Hardy, hello. Okay, they're all coming on. Okay, so we're just going to chat amongst ourselves a little bit. Ryan, how have you been?
As good as ever, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty alive and pretty vital, pretty hard-working like you, Vaughn. Doing things, making things happen. Making new things happen, new projects, new exhibitions. I'd like to say hello to anybody from Georgia. I hope my show looked really good down in Belize. I'd like to say hello to the people in Nottingham. My show up there is. I'm being.
No, that's fine. Well, we've got Sergey from Russia there.
Oh, Sergey!
Hello.
Oh, well done.
Hello to my friends in Russia. We've got Sydney Martin from Indiana. Hello. Sydney.
Indiana's great. I love Indiana.
Hello from Germany. Nice to have you back. It's good. I was in Germany at the end of last month with Mesh. What a country, man. I've heard about German efficiency and everything, but I've never been to Germany.
Wow.
I'm not that well travelled. I went for the first time, did my first gig.
Right.
And if you want to adopt me in Germany, I will gladly go there. Allegra says she loves how international this group is. Indeed. Bonjour, Dalida.
Bonjour.
Brian, you've been made an ambassador for something, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's a big announcement, I suppose.
Yes.
It's an ambassador for a watch. It's called the Lensman 2 watch, and it's made by a company called Horage in Switzerland, and I'm going to be working with them for 3 years on various projects revolving around the Lensman watch. So look out for all the posts that you can see around about it, and we are doing an event down here in a few days on Thursday, where a lot of people are coming. A hell of a lot of people are coming. We're doing an event. Raj are doing an event, and they're going to launch me as their Lensman 2 watch, basically, because I'm very flattered. They've dedicated the watch to me. So on that watch, on the rear of that watch, is engraved my name. And people who buy the watch, it's called Believe in the Light. I put Believe in the Light on the back of that watch alongside my name, because that's what I'm into. I'm into lighting, as you know, in photography. I love lighting. and yeah, there 100 of them, and they're each watch will be numbered from 1 to 100, and they're purchasable from now. Actually, you can order one, and just go on the Horage site and order a Lensman 2 watch. Why not?
Right, we've got still got the people coming on. There's Jeff Rawle. Hello, Jeff.
Big Jeff. Nice to see you, Jeff.
Also,
I can't see him, by the way.
I can't see. Yeah.
I can't see him. Sorry, Jeff. I can't see, but I can feel you.
Nice to feel your spirit.
Feel your spirit.
To those of you who follow me, I haven't been I haven't released videos for a while. I've just been very busy, as you know. But with things such as this, the Depeche Mode book, which we're going to talk about now, I must remind you also of the event on June the 13th. That's June the 13th this year in London. A first of its kind. I love it. I love saying this. A first of its kind, because these are events that have never been done before. It's a first of its kind event with Gareth Jones at the Strong Room. Gareth is going to be doing what he calls a deep dive, where he's going to be deconstructing the album Construction Time Again. Gareth has never done this before. It's a first time ever. So if you're interested in that, come and join us at London on June the 13th this year. So it's going to be a very event-filled year. We've got a big event with Brian this week now. He's been made an ambassador for a really, really executive watch company called Horage. Brian, you're just moving up so much. You're not going to want to talk to me eventually. You're going to leave me behind.
I'm just a humble boy. I'm just an humble man.
I'm humble too, but I don't become ambassadors of watches.
I think I'm the first ever ambassador of a watch in photography. First ever, I think. Someone will prove me wrong, but I don't think.
I think we spoke about this the other day.
Yeah.
But also, and we're just sort of warming up the numbers. Hello, if you've just joined us, welcome to the live stream here on the Vaughn George YouTube channel. My special guest today, Mr. Brian Griffin. We're here to make a very special announcement regarding our Depeche Mode, or Brian's Depeche Mode photographic book. But before we get to that, Brian, we have a cup of tea every other day, and we talk. And
we had one today as well. Actually.
We had one today as well, yes.
Yeah.
And
not that it's important.
Not that it's important, but I'd like to think I know you really well. But the other day, you blew my mind when you said you'd photographed Steve Strange from Visage.
Yeah, of course.
Because are you at liberty to say?
Yeah, it was in 1980 in Rotherhithe there, up in my studio up the street in Rotherhithe Street.
Yeah.
Yes, someone approached me about they're making a film or trying to get the money to make a film on Steve Strange, and obviously the WAG Club, whatever he worked at, and they approached because they wanted to make one of my photographs the poster. Hopefully the film they get made. I remember photographing Steve Strange. He was a really nice man actually, and he came down to my studio, and I photographed him in various positions. And it's quite a nice photograph actually. It's a black and white, the really good one I think, but there's also colour photographs I did which I think as a series they're really good images. I mean, shall we put them on this site? I don't know. Maybe.
No, well, we may, and the point I'm trying to make is that you know when you're talking to a friend and the friend says something, you're like, oh wow. When you're talking to Brian, he goes, yeah, this morning I was trying to fish, if we were allowed to talk about it, so we can. We won't go into detail, but someone contacted Brian. They were looking for photos of Steve Strange, obviously, because they're trying to make a movie made. And I said to Brian, you didn't photograph Steve Strange, did you? And he went, yes, I did. And he said, it's in my pop book, as if though to say, Vaughn, are you paying attention? And I'm just like, you'd be forgiven, because if you've ever been through the pop book, I've gone so far as to say, I've said this before, if you weren't photographed by Brian in the 80s, then you probably weren't that famous. It's true. I mean, there was Maggie Thatcher, Brian May, the back of his head, Joe Jackson's feet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only people I didn't photograph were the Beatles and the Stones. Yeah, everyone else I did. I think I did something like 236 album covers or single bags album covers. It was quite a hectic time. It was a lovely studio, beautiful studio up the street, a black studio inside, because it's better to have black so the light doesn't come back off the walls or whatever, and you get more contrast. It was a special. It was 123 Rotherhithe Street, which doesn't really exist anymore. It's just a big block of flats, like everything in the world that used to exist doesn't exist anymore. It's a block of flats. They're all a block of flats.
Yeah, well, that is the sad thing about. I mean, I moved to London here in 1999. I've lived here most of my life, and I hate to be cynical, but I've seen how the corporate mindset has just driven the soul out of this city. I remember the event, the Astoria, the music venue, and there's so many iconic venues here, like pubs and stuff that get shut down. They knock them down. They build a block of flats. And then they'll just do away with hundreds of years of history, due to a block of flats. Anyway, not ranting too much. Let's just see who's on here. Allegra. It's not difficult. Allegra Jane says that the Joe Jackson image is so iconic. Tell us about that. He was a bit annoyed about that, wasn't he?
Yeah, because I photographed Joe in a part of London. It's called the South Bank. It's down near Waterloo Station. It's where the Hayward Gallery, the National Theatre, the Royal Festival all are positioned. It's right on the Thames, and I had a cup of coffee with Joe, and it was in the days I didn't have a studio and I didn't have hardly any cameras. I had a 35mm camera, put a roll of black and white in, and walked with Joe across to the South Bank, and I met Mike Ross. Mike Ross was the designer or art director, head of art at A&M Records. He bought the shoes. Joe put the shoes on, and I said, "Stand there, Joe." Just as quickly as that. I think it took me maybe 20 seconds to take the picture, of which became one of the most iconic album covers of all, of the modern era, really, at that time. And Joe didn't like that because he wanted himself on the cover. He's on the back of the album. He's not on the front though. His shoes are on the front, and he was really annoyed. He never gave me another album cover to do, although I actually helped to make his career, really.
Well, I mean, it's like that. We talk about Depeche Mode's A Broken Frame. I mean, the album cover, I mean, critically speaking, I mean, it's difficult for me to detach from it because I'm a fan. But I think a lot of people, who, critically speaking, you could argue that it's not a great album, but the cover really transcends it.
Is she really going out with him?
Oh no, so we jumped from Joe Jackson to Depeche Mode. Joe Jackson was 19 forever, and he also did "Now the mist across the window has the light, you babe stepping out into the light." I used to do that on the piano. It's one of my renditions. Right. Anyway.
But is she really going out with him? Was on the album.
Is she really going out with him? Someone's just texting me now.
Please shut up, they're saying. Don't sing.
Shout out to Rich Silverthorne. That's Rich Silverthorne from Mesh. Now I really sound like I'm names dropping. So I want to say hello to any Mesh fans that are watching me. I've joined forces with Mesh, and we, I think, has been a very a good collaboration so far. But we don't want to get sidetracked. Once again, we are about to break the news regarding this special book that Brian has never released up until now, and there's a bit of story to this as well. So, Brian, if you just, I'm going to ask you. I just want to grab an image there quickly. Let me quickly just take a question here from you. Let's just read some of the comments here. Jonathan says he's amazing. Now, I don't know if he means you're amazing, or if Joe Jackson's amazing, or if I'm amazing. So, but thank you, Jonathan. We'll take it. Hello, bonjour from Montreal. Bonjour. From Montreal. Seb Music Archive says Rebel Yell season for Billy. Oh, he likes the Billy Idol.
Oh, right.
Rebel Yell, was it?
Yeah, they're shot in New York. Shot in New York over a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shot it in New York over a weekend.
That's quite naughty of you, Brian, because the funny thing is, if you get to know Brian, he's incredibly mischievous. He's like a big kid sometimes. He's very mischievous. So I can see your humour in saying to someone, I'm going to photograph your shoes, or Brian may turn around, I'm going to photograph. Yeah, that's quite risky, because I think some people, especially when they're big stars, they could really take offence to that.
They could, I suppose, yeah.
But you didn't care, you just didn't.
I didn't. I could persuade people to do anything. When it comes to a camera, I can't persuade people to do anything in real life. But when it comes to a camera, I can persuade anybody to do anything. For some reason, I don't know why, but it happens that way. Oh yeah. You're going to show that one.
Absolutely.
I was going to show. Well, also regarding what Vaughn's going to show you is that I don't know if you know this, but they also make tires out of my album covers in Sweden.
Oh, I actually have one.
Oh, you've got one.
Oh, yes.
Vaughn's got one.
Yes, I'm the most.
Vaughn's going to get one. Have I got to? It was quick.
Here's one. Here's one I made earlier.
Oh right. Oh God, yeah. Can you see?
Yeah, it's a place in Sweden that does this.
Yeah, I think it's in Gothenburg.
Yeah,
they make tires from the Depeche Mode albums
and handkerchiefs as well.
And they want to make one out of Black Celebration, and also obviously out of Construction Time Again, and also out of Broken Frame. But the Black Celebration, they were rather disappointed because it was black and white. Now, and I said, I don't have any colour. I just don't have any colour. I mean, Black Celebration, as you'll know when you get the book, there's a good story in there about the fact that was an awkward time for me with Depeche Mode, Black Celebration.
Do you want to put that on, Brian?
No.
There we go. Yeah. Actually, okay. So let's take the story of Black Celebration, and we'll sort of segue into to the announcement. So Black Celebration. A lot of you don't. A lot of you do know the story, but a lot of you probably don't. Brian obviously did the first 5 album covers for Depeche Mode, and he photographed them in the studio and stuff. Unfortunately, as Brian has said, as he will mention in this book, and as he has said in interviews before, he didn't have much to do with the band, because they really just showed up. You took the photos and they left. You dealt more with Daniel and the record company stuff. Okay, so Black Celebration was obviously the album cover, that it was your last album cover. That's where they kind of moved off onto a different team. But I did see a documentary on you where you were looking at the Black Celebration cover, and I think you just maybe it was a part of the history you didn't like because of the way it ended. But you didn't have much good feeling towards the artwork. The point I'm trying to make is now that image has become so iconic, whether you liked it or not.
Well, yeah, it is iconic in terms of, certainly, at least in terms of my history with Depeche Mode, because it's the fragmentation, the breakup of a relationship over, 5 years really, and there's a story behind it as well. The people who played a part of it, the model maker who made in the book there is the model maker who made the tower, the office tower or whatever, and about him and about what really happened in my studio, why I took it the way I took it, what I did photographically. Actually, when I talk about it photographically, the book also has a section on my photography, what cameras I used, how I approached it, what films I used, It's a general, it's not that big, but there's a good page on my photographic techniques and everything in the book. I cover that, which I haven't done before actually, in any of my books for Depeche Mode or whatever.
No, that's great. Okay, guys, so you've waited long enough. Let's unveil the announcement. Okay, so as you know, when we did our first live stream, we've done one, we've done a second one, and just to bring you up to speed, Brian Griffin is just about to release Mode. Mode is a photographic book. Now, this is not a officially endorsed by Depeche Mode project. It is an independent project, and this will be it's Brian's project, and we're going to start a Kickstarter campaign, and it's going to be crowdfunded. So as Kickstarter campaigns work, as you know, it's an all or nothing affair. So if we raise the funds, it'll go ahead. If we don't raise the funds, then unfortunately it won't. Okay, so where are we with this? The Kickstarter campaign is finished. We've done our part. Mm-hmm. Everything's been uploaded. Brian has done a lot of work. I must thank you, Brian, for all the work you've done. And you know, whether we reach our goal or not, I'm confident we will. But I just have to say, you know, Brian is one of the hardest working people I know. He worked very, very hard to do this, because I think as the story goes with this book, I'm very privileged to actually have a preface written in the book, and the quotation starts off with, Brian, why have you never released a Depeche Mode photographic book? And this is very interesting. You get this saying called wood for the trees, you know, when you're in something. And I just thought, Brian's photographed so many great artists. We've spoken about Depeche Mode so many times. He's mentioned Depeche Mode in so many books. But then I just thought, why has Brian never released a Depeche Mode photographic book? I remember there was that moment of silence, and it was like, it seems obvious, you know, but obviously wood for the trees, it didn't seem obvious. Anyway, that has been done now.
You don't see the most obvious, do you?
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, to forgive myself, yeah.
You don't, but so where we are now is the Kickstarter campaign is done. Unfortunately, and we are waiting for approval on it. Now, Kickstarter contacted us. We felt that we'd uploaded everything in good time, but they said we should hear back from them tomorrow. Tomorrow. So what I'm saying is, guys, it's all uploaded. Everything's ready to go. So as soon as Kickstarter give us the approval tomorrow, we will announce it everywhere, and it'll go live. So what exactly are we talking about here? This is a photographic book of Depeche Mode. The book is called Mode, and the cover, we did ponder the cover for ages, but Brian actually gave the final vote. We decided that this is going to be the cover. The book is going to be 240 centimeters by 240 centimeters.
Designed by the Cafeteria, who designed my last book called Brian Griffin Dada, you know, Brian Griffin Dada, sort of Black Country Dada. They designed it. They're very capable and very good designers. It'll be printed in the UK by a company that believes in absolute impeccable quality, and every book is checked, so it's impeccable. My book will be exquisite. It will be a beautiful, beautiful thing, printed beautifully, and and I'll sign every single book, and every person that buys that book will be in the book. We will put every person who pledges for that book in the book. So therefore, it's your book. It's my it's your book that I give you. I give you my work. It's your book, and it's very reasonably inexpensive. People think it's too cheap. It's not cheap enough, really, but it is a small amount of money compared to other publications on Depeche Mode.
Yes, wink, wink. But no, we absolutely wanted, just like Brian. If you ever met Brian, he's really a man of the people. Yeah, he just whenever he has an event, his first choice is to do it down the pub. He wants to he's not a pretentious guy. And one of the most important things, we wanted this to be an affordable book, but for Brian, it's very important that the quality is not compromised. So we spent a lot of time, and we we put a lot of effort into this. We're pleased to announce that the book will be selling for
£40.
£40 is the price of the book. That's on the Kickstarter. This is a special Kickstarter price. Obviously, later on, the price will go up. So for the Kickstarter campaign, it's only fair that you who support this get a special price. I'm sure many of you, and I'm going to take some questions afterwards as well. I'm sure many of you are familiar with how a Kickstarter and a crowdfunding campaign works. There are not many tiers on this. We try to keep it as simple as possible. In fact, there are, I think, 6 tiers. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the most basic tier is for the book. Every single book will be signed, autographed. Once again, I know someone's going to ask this question, so I'm just going to answer it now. It will be shipped to you anywhere in the world. Obviously, there's the price of the book, and then the postage is an additional cost as well. So yeah, it'll be shipped to you anywhere in the world. Every single book is signed. I know there have been campaigns before where there was the book and then there'd be an extra charge for the signature, but Brian just said no, I think everyone deserves the book to be signed. So every book will be signed. It'll be shipped anywhere in the world. There is also a tier where you can buy 2 books, and this tier is called A Book for You and A Book for Me. And the idea behind that was, you know, if I was to buy a book like this, I know at least dozens of people who I'd like to buy this as a gift for. Not that I would buy it for a dozen people, but this tier is there for you to buy a book for yourself and for a best friend of yours or something. And then also there is a tier after that where you can get the book, and we are unveiling, as you guys know, we sell the poster prints here on the Vaughn George merch store. We are unveiling an exclusive set of poster prints, images that have never been seen before, and you will see in this crowdfunder campaign, when you see it, there is video footage of me sort of sitting with Brian, and we're looking at transparencies, and I promise you I got goosebumps. For instance, there is an image of the man of the Matterhorn, and he's actually holding the hammer, and you can actually see his face, because I mean, if you're a Depeche Mode fan, you often wondered, why do you never see his face? Well, you see his face in this one. There's also one of the top tiers in this one of the top tiers available in this crowdfunder campaign is a beautiful box set. So what this basically is it's the book with a beautifully handmade box for the book to go in, with a handmade print of is it a handmade print?
Yeah.
Is it of Black Celebration, which is going to be not as big as this one, but it's a handmade print, so it's not a digital print. And that's it really. So I don't want to go too much into that, because you know all the information will be there. All you need to take from this, and we're going to keep repeating this for the new people coming on, is that we've done our part. Brian has written the book. Everything's done. Everything's been uploaded. We've found, we've got our team and everything. All we need now, we're waiting for Kickstarter in America, and they said they will hopefully. They said they'll get back to us tomorrow. So if all things are good, they will approve it tomorrow, and it will go live tomorrow, and then you can start pledging. The crowdfunder will run for 30 days, and the whole idea, and then the production of the books will probably take about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, we should have it ready in September.
So it'll be a great Christmas gift.
A great Christmas gift. Yeah, and I've been up to the designers. They know exactly what they're doing. They're wonderful people. They'll do a fantastic job on the book, and I feel very excited about it, because it's going to be a really beautiful book.
I just want to say, Bernard Ryan, hello. Yeah, he's corrected me. Thank you, Bernard. He said, I think you meant 240 millimeters, not 240 centimeters. Correct. That's a big book.
I didn't get that either.
Sorry. Thank you, Bernard. You just saved my life. My God, I was going to get sued.
I couldn't get it in this.
Thank you so much.
This studio.
Yeah, 240 millimeters or 24 centimeters. So 24 by 24. Thank you, sir. You've saved my life. Okay, so let's we'll take some questions now, guys. If you want to ask, it's quite a few. I'm just going to go up here. We can't go right to the top. Andreas, yes, we've answered your question when the Kickstarter is coming. Once again, it'll be hopefully approved by tomorrow. Here's a question. If possible, a few words about shooting a broken frame cover. Source of inspiration. What light did you have to carry around?
The Black Celebration photograph was taken in my studio, which is...
I think the broken frame.
Oh, cover. A broken frame, sorry. Broken frame, we had battery-powered lights. They were multi-blitz lights from Germany. Very, very weak in power. Battery power for photography was really... or not non-existent, but just about existent. It was very weak power. The lights were literally on the lady in the cornfield, were literally right next to her virtually. We were literally like 4 or 5 feet away from her to get a decent exposure. The corn, there were lights on the corn as well. So the corn was grey actually. The whole field was grey. It was, I think it's overripe, you know. I don't know much about farming, but yeah, we put a yellow filter on the lights, and they lit the corn in a golden way. But yeah, they were battery-powered light. It was battery-powered lighting.
Jeff Roll says, "Take my money, Brian. Take my money." Looking forward to it.
Oh, really good, Jeff. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for coming down and supporting us so well in our Ship and Whale event. It's a great pub, the Ship and Whale. They are real fans of Depeche Mode, and we'll do something in there again because it was a great evening, wasn't it, Jeff? I mean, you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff's coming down again. Yeah. Jeff, I believe you're coming down for the Gareth Jones event. So, unfortunately, Brian's not going to be at that event because you're so busy. You're going to be somewhere else.
Well, I'm going to be in Switzerland.
Yeah. He's becoming too popular these days, guys. Eventually he won't come on here and speak to us anymore. He'll be
I'll always spare a moment for you.
I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Yeah. Is there a link already? No. Once again, the link's not available. As I say, even if we did give you the link, it would just give you a blank page. We're a little bit annoyed. In full transparency here. The goal today was to, unveil the Kickstarter here. Brian has done many Kickstarters before, and they don't usually take this long. We really thought they would have approved it by now, but don't worry, you've got 30 days, so there's plenty of time. Right, let's have a look at some more questions here. James Ronnie, hello brother. Is Brian coming along to the June event? Oh yes, I just answered that. No, he's going to be in Switzerland. Jonathan McCarley says, "Are we allowed to have the broken frame Saffron Walden Field coordinates?" We don't exactly know where it is, Brian, do we?
I don't exactly know where it is. It was just a field, Yeah, it was just a field. It's really interesting you asked that actually, because everyone was inspired by that photograph. I mean, Kate Bush was inspired by it, and also Kodak. We're going to bring out a new film back then, a real film, not a digital camera for real cameras. Back in 85, I think, or 84, a couple of years after A Broken Frame. And I had to go to Australia to photograph a field with a different image in that field.
Was that Kate Bush?
It wasn't Kate Bush, no. I actually photographed Kate Bush up in Buckinghamshire.
Oh, Buckinghamshire.
In a small village called Freeth.
Mm.
But no, this was out in Australia, right out in the outback of Australia. Yeah.
She was beautiful, that Kate Bush. She was just something else.
Oh, yeah.
I think you said she was just something else.
She's incredible. She was an incredible woman.
Right, so sorry Jonathan, the coordinates it is in Saffron Walden.
I can't remember.
But the thing is, Brian, we spoke about this. Yeah. I've spoke about this, and I've even spoken to Gareth, when you were both working on the same sort of albums of that period. You didn't think, like at the time when you thought, I'm going to put a swan with some plastic, you weren't thinking that in 40 years time you'd still be talking about this and it would be more iconic after 40 years.
No, I didn't at all.
So it's quite surreal. Okay, let's just look at some more questions here. Patrick asks, how many orders do you need to go ahead and print the book?
How many orders?
Well, we haven't told them how much we're trying to raise.
Oh, we're trying to raise £30,000. We're trying to raise that. So if you divide 40 into £30,000, okay, £40 into £30,000, then you've got an idea of how much we need.
Well, we'll get Jeff Roll to do that because he's already worked out the price in dollars for us. Thank you, Jeff. He says the price in dollars is $49.84. So at least we kept it under $50. So if anyone here wants to work out the price in euros as well, or yen, or
yen, or rubles,
or rubles or rupees, yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, we're raising the Kickstarter amount is 30,000. We're going for. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say this. I think, you know, so much work has gone into this, and so much consideration has gone into the tiers. As I say, the tiers. The price of the book is, I believe, completely reasonable. And as I say, with Brian, it was like, we'll do this as affordably as we can, but we're not going to compromise on quality, and we haven't. This is going to be stunning. And I promise you, the images that you're going to see in here, take it from me, you've never seen them before. If I had a reaction to it, you will have a reaction to it. Not an allergic reaction, but sort of like a goosebump reaction. There we go. Jonathan says, slightly off topic, what are Brian's favourite Depeche Mode songs? It's Somebody, I think.
I quite like Route 66.
Route 66. It's not even a Depeche Mode song, but yeah, it's a cover of it. Yeah. But yeah, their version. It's Chuck Berry.
I do, yeah. I remember working with the cinematographer who made that film when I used to make films, called Ed Larkman, a great cinematographer. Made many movies, he has. Yeah.
Okay, so question here: will the pledge be on your channel? Yes. I'll put it to you this way: if you are a member of the Facebook group, if you're a member of this YouTube channel, watchvg.com, Brian Griffin, it'll be everywhere. It'll be impossible. It'll be impossible
to miss it.
Impossible to miss it.
It'll be like a rash everywhere. Yeah, it will. Just everywhere.
Andreas asks the question, Brian, are you still in touch with the band?
No. The last time I saw them was when they played the Olympic Stadium in London. I had a brief chat. Well, in fact, quite a long chat to Martin Gore, and then Fletch.
You spoke to Fletch
as well, yeah. David Gahan went straight to his room to I don't know.
Dave's very private. He doesn't mingle much, and but I know for a fact. I'm so. I don't like to use the word gutted. I don't mean to be insensitive, but the passing of Fletch. Because I always believed I would, out of all the band members, if I was to interview them, I always believed that I would interview Fletch because, you know, he lived in London, and, you know, I used to take the mick out of him. But yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, I think he had the best sense of humour out of all of them. I think he was very, very funny. Anyway, there we go. Thank you. Lindmark Melo says 30,000 divided by 40 is 750. Yeah, so we need to sell 750 books
to pay to make sure that we get the money to print.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But the thing is, guys, you know, if you look at Depeche Mode's Facebook group, it's got over 7 million followers. So
it's a lot.
It's a lot. So I'm confident we will reach the goal. I think Brian has been very grounded about this. I mean, I got really excited, and I thought, Brian, I believe, because, you know, you guys know me, I get really excited about things. And Brian was very grounded about it, and he went, yeah, okay, you haven't been unrealistic about it. You've been very, very grounded. Right, let's check here. Oliver says, thanks a lot for your effort. It's really appreciated. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Oliver. And you've got there is rear. Oh, okay. Bernard Ryan says, will the book include all the shots used for the singles that accompany the album releases, for example, Love in Itself?
Yeah. I mean, you see, the problem was that you used in those days it was film. I used all the album covers I did were film. Now they're probably shot on digital. Most photography is, but in those days we shot it analog, on film, and it was mostly done on transparency film. Like you have your slides that you project your slides for the family or whatever on Christmas Day or what you did on holiday, and so the transparencies would go off to the record company. And they would disappear, or they would be trodden on the floor of the printer because the printing was so bad on album covers back in those days, and the printers would just tread on the transparencies. They wouldn't give a damn about them. So the work suffered terribly, a terrible loss. A lot of it did, but I was lucky that it because all the black and white would remain in my files, and therefore, like Black Celebration did, and I have that still in my file. But the colour transparency that I shot of it, of course, which formed the album cover, is, I don't know, either in the mute library somewhere or on the floor of some distant printer. I have no idea where it is because I don't have it myself. So that's why you see Black Celebration as a black and white print or black and white digital file now. So I've digitized everything of my work, and so it's different. It's just different. You also grow to love maybe some of the work that you felt wasn't really thought of very highly. Because you can reflect on it and post rationalization of the work you did, and there's lots of cases, lots of images that I did of them which are actually better than the images they used, and we've actually put them in the book.
Yeah, that was interesting. I've asked Brian this conversation. We've had this conversation. We might do a video on it one day. In fact, we might one day get you to choose. Because what was interesting was, remember that Brian would take the photos. The band weren't really around. They didn't seem very interested. They were just, Brian dealt mainly with Daniel and the management and stuff. I think by the time they got to Anton, working with Anton, they were a little bit more mature. So I think, but back in the earlier days, unfortunately, Brian didn't get to work with them much. I'm losing my train of thought now. What was I? About?
I don't know what you were going to say.
I'm trying to process a question here as well. I just think it'll come back to me now. Sorry guys, off topic chicken.
A copy to Martin Gore or David Garth.
Will this book have shots used by any others? Yes, we've done that one. Here's a question here from Winnie223 says, this must have been a nightmare back in the film days. I also remember a funny story of the hammer from the Construction Time Again cover. Oh yeah, when you went to Switzerland and had the hammer.
It's in the book. It's in the book. I mean, I did a book called Pop in 2017, like 8 years, was it 7 years ago? 6-7 years ago, and the Depeche Mode. I saw a question about, is David Vaughn going to get a copy of the book? Martin Gore going to get a copy?
They can buy a copy. How's that?
I think they can afford. I think they might be able to afford one.
I think they can afford it. Martin, Dave, if you're watching, we'll send you to the link to the Kickstarter.
Are we going to tell us? I tell them about my. It's a bit of a laugh now. We can say this. One of the pledges is the big pledge, which is you get me to photograph you if you're a member of a band or member of a family or a couple or a person who wants their portrait taken by me. You can come and be in my studio for a day.
That is the top tier.
That's the top tier.
On this, it's the top tier, and that is the opportunity to get photographed by the man himself. And hey man, who wouldn't want a Depeche Mode? Oh no, sorry. Who wouldn't want a Brian Griffin album cover? Yeah.
Yeah, Depeche Mode wanted it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one day when I'm rich, Brian, I might hire you to
photograph you and your babies. And
yeah.
You and your babies. You won't talk to me in English. Well, you think you'll know English, but you'll be Estonian and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any plans to reissue the pop book?
The pop book just fled. I mean, I know some people, some Depeche Mode fans have got the pop book, which have a beautiful sheet of Japanese paper bound into the book, and all the bands sign them. Fletch signed them. It's a real collector's item now, and it was, well, relatively cheap. I mean, it was about, I think I was 75 or 80 or 90 pounds, whatever, with all the Depeche Mode signatures of the band who personally signed. I think they signed 33 of them or 45 of them they signed. I know some people have got them. I don't have one. I have to admit.
Here's a question from Andrei Musat from Romania. Hello, Andrei. It says, hi from Romania, a bit late to the stream. I have a question for Brian. As a photographer myself, what works also in the music industry? Sorry? You're a photographer who also works in the music industry. Okay. Okay, and your question is... right. He's asking a question. Do you need permission from all the members when you release a book like this? I would want to make an exhibition book with a band portrait and photo. You don't. I mean, well, you do. Okay, this is not legal advice. What I'm saying is this project is called Mode. It's not called Depeche Mode. Obviously, Depeche Mode have a trademark, and they are a brand and institution. What this book is about? This is all about Brian's photography. So the photos. They are Brian's photos. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's difficult. I know these days on the internet there's a lot of people doing dodgy things and it's very difficult for the digital age. You can just I've seen people taking Brian's album covers and just doing weird and wonderful things with them. But to answer your question, there, I don't know what the legal implications are, and I refrain from giving legal advice because it's a very complicated subject. But so far as it pertains to this project, our book that we're doing, Brian's book, it's called Mode, and it's basically all about the photographs that Brian took. So it's a book about Brian, and it just happens to be about his time with Depeche Mode. So it's not any Depeche Mode endorsed project. So I hope that answers your question. Did I answer that? You happy with that?
Yeah, it's quite okay there, and a lot of the images were not appear on the album covers. They don't. They're just variants of that situation, of the album cover shoot, that is, and the single bag shoot.
When I lost my train of thought just now, it's come back. So what I was talking about, I was getting to this point, was when Brian took all those photos. He would take all the photos, and then the photos were given to Daniel and the record company, and they would sit and decide. And I actually always found that strange, because I've sat with Brian on a few occasions, and Brian has pointed out at, particularly on the Construction Time Again, which I know is your favorite shoot, and the actual image that they used on the album cover. Now, it's a great photo, but Brian, you said you would have used another, and it's interesting. I found that strange, because if I was using you to photograph a project, it seems counterintuitive for me to say, okay, goodbye, I'm going to decide. I would sit with you and say, what do you think? But they never actually gave you that opportunity.
No, I mean, basically there were clients. Of course, Depeche Mode were my clients. Daniel Miller was the representative of Depeche Mode, and he was my client. And I respected the clients, really. That what I was happy to do was to take photographs that the clients would like, and they would use on album covers or single bags, of which they did, of course. But they made their choices. I didn't step in the way of them. I mean, we're living in a world where Depeche Mode are like almost a fantasy for us. But in that world, they were just a job. It was just a job in those days. It was Depeche Mode on Tuesday, Joe Jackson on Wednesday type of thing. Like you go to work and you do your job as well as you can. And I went to work and did my job as well as I can. But what I did has become incredibly famous in many ways, not just with Depeche Mode, but all my work has become very famous because I put a lot of effort into it. I worked incredibly hard on it, and I wanted to produce the best I possibly could think of at the time. And I was quite young then, remember? I mean, we're talking about 40 years ago. So I had a different makeup. I was a different sort of person then, maybe, in a way. Naive, maybe, as well. So I let them choose on occasions, which I should have invaded and like, oh no, you shouldn't use that, you should use this one, but I didn't. It's my fault.
Okay, well, guys, we're gonna just wrap this stream up now. We've been going for 50 minutes now, so we're gonna wrap it up with. I just want to summarize what's why we're here. So once again, if you've just joined us, the photographic book, the photography book, which Brian is going to be releasing, is called Mode, and it is a photographic book, and it covers Brian's time with Depeche Mode from 1981 to 1986. It includes all the photos Brian has taken of Depeche Mode, including all the album covers, as well as scans of the transparencies and negatives, and a lot of images you've never seen before. The book is 240 millimeters by 240 millimeters, or 24 by 24 centimeters. Hardback, absolutely hardback. And it's been put together by a very tried and trusted team that has done a lot of books for Brian before. The book is only £40 for this Kickstarter campaign. After the Kickstarter campaign, the prices will go up. So the Kickstarter campaign is set at £30,000, which means we need to sell 750 books to raise it. I'm positive that we will do it. Brian has put a lot of effort, a lot of blood and tears into this, so we really hope that you will help us make this happen. But you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm confident it will. The Kickstarter campaign, if you've just joined us, we were meant to launch it tonight. Once again, we have uploaded everything. Everything is ready to go. We are just waiting for Kickstarter to approve it. Now we are expecting to get the approval tomorrow. That was the email we got saying that we will have it approved tomorrow. So worst case scenario, there will be something we need to amend, and then there might be a few more days. However, I think we have covered. I'm confident that we've covered everything. So fingers crossed, Kickstarter will probably, because America being a few hours behind, probably by the end of business UK time tomorrow, we should hopefully have it running. Don't worry about it. You will know about it. I will post the links everywhere on my Facebook group, my YouTube channel. You will know about it. And the Kickstarter campaign runs for 30 days, so there's plenty of time. Please feel free to ask any questions in the Kickstarter campaign. Remember, in a Kickstarter campaign or any kind of crowdfunding thing, it's like, you know, it's your project. You know, you're almost like the people who make it happen. So remember also, every single book is signed, and every single person who pledges will get their name included in the book, in the credits. Is that right? Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything else we need to?
No, I think we've been very comprehensive.
I think we've been very comprehensive, ticking all the boxes. As we say, it was our sincere intention to launch the Kickstarter tonight, because as far as I'm concerned, we did upload everything in enough time. Obviously, the guys and girls at Kickstarter, maybe they're just a bit inundated with many projects, but we should hopefully get approval by tomorrow. And then we've got 30 days to make this happen. We're going to do it, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to do this.
We'll do it.
Okay, well, listen, guys, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Are we going to go and have a beer now?
I think we deserve one, Vaughn.
Yeah, we should have put an extra pledge there, buy them a beer. just joking. We go to the pub's not far. Should we go to the one downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your
It'll be
support.
here. It's coming.
What, the beer or the book?
The book.
Thanks, guys. You got any questions? Leave a comment below. But you'll hear from us very soon. Adios. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.